Coming up just ahead on You Have Real Estate, I'm going to change clothes. I'm going to go across the hall to Studio JC. I'm going to tell you where you can find an open house this weekend. Also, you're under contract, you're heading to closing. What are some mistakes you could make? It's all just ahead. It's You Have Real Estate. Do IRS threats have you spinning out of control? You are not helpless. At Attorneys Justin Clark and Associates, our goal is to lower or even eliminate your IRS debt. Call me today or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your financial life.
This is a special offer from IQ Power Solar.
Stop paying high electric bills with a solar power system from IQ Power Solar. And now it's never been easier. IQ Power Solar can give you immediate electric bill relief right now when you go solar. IQ Power Solar will reimburse you for your very next electric bill. Plus, if you're a first responder, IQ Power Solar will pay your program payment for the rest of the year. Call 407-585-1018 now or visit iqpowersolar.com.
Welcome to You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, seasoned investor, or even looking to sell your home, this next 30 minutes is designed just for you. Think of it as hitting multiple open houses from your living room, but with my attorney advice out the way. Any questions whatsoever during the show, people are standing by to answer them. If you need to get pre-qualified for a mortgage, Dallas Lehman is here to answer those mortgage questions. I'm going to leave the phone number right here on the screen for you during the entire show, but here it is, 407-205-0400. Quite a show. We haven't been with you in a few weeks now. We'll call this season 3. I'm going to get you updated on this real estate market. But first, the opening statement. Today we launch a brand new season of You Have Real Estate. First of all, I've missed you, by the way. Hopefully you've missed me a little bit as well. What is going on in this economy? So, terrible inflation, a war in the Ukraine. We've got horrible gas prices. You know all of this. We hear about it every day. What is the good thing going on in this economy right now? The real estate market. The real estate market has stayed so strong, and I want to caution you about something. You might start hearing national trends where the market is going down slightly. We live in Florida. I do not need you necessarily paying attention to national trends. When we live in the greatest state in the United States of America, and I think we've proven that over the last couple of years, people are moving here in droves. Last time I checked, we still have no state income tax. We still have great weather. Take it from a guy who was in Buffalo last weekend, and it snowed the entire time. April, late March it was when I was there. Still snowing. Why do you think people move here? Beaches. A lot of people love the governor here. Things have gone surprisingly well for Florida. I mean, it was always a great state to move to, but I think it's gotten better over time. You're going to ask me today, I'm sure you're going to be thinking about it, what's going on with the mortgage interest rates? Yeah, they're up. They have gone up a little bit. That's going to happen when you see the Fed raise the rates. But if you look at history, the mortgage rates are still very low. Justin, okay. Haven't talked to you in a few weeks. Is the market going to crash? No. The real estate market is not going to crash. I lived through 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 with you. I was one of the biggest foreclosure defense attorneys in town. I know exactly what happened back then. This market is not designed to crash. I am bullish, maybe more bullish than ever right now on the Florida real estate market. So as I come to you again today for the first time in a few weeks at least, the market is still fantastic. You know, you don't necessarily are going to get 30 offers on every home within a day. You're still going to get multiple offers on almost every house. It's still happening. The market's still strong. Now, I do think maybe if you've been holding out on buying because you're waiting on the prices to come down, I don't see that happening. I really don't. And now you're saying, well, dang it, the mortgage rates have gone up. The mortgage rates are still fine. If you're holding out on buying, waiting on the mortgage rates to come down or the market to come down, I don't see it happening. I just don't. Now's the time to buy if you're looking to buy a house. That is my feeling. I got a heck of a show for you today, too. It's going to be an exciting show. I look forward to doing it with you. But first, let's answer your questions by asking real questions. Every Saturday here on You Have Real Estate, we ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Very proud today to have on the show Hemant Panchal with Core Title to talk about what's going on with real estate closings right now, and our good friends Barrett Munson and Zach Munson of Homeuplink, and they're here with me right now. Guys, how are you?
Great. How are you?
Let me guess, brothers?
Yes.
What is it like working with your brother? I have two little brothers. I love them. We live far apart. I'd love to work together. Do you ever fight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Who normally wins?
We normally let Dad decide.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Dad flips the coin, I guess?
Yeah, we kind of have to make sure that he's, the mediator.
Homeuplink. I've never heard of such a thing. I think it's an absolutely genius invention, essentially, that you guys have invented. Tell everyone at home what Homeuplink really is.
So basically what we do is we actually take open house listings every single day and we give them out to the general population for free. They basically can find every single open house in all of Orlando and all of Tampa and all of Miami, Jacksonville. And they can get turn-by-turn directions, they can get direct synopsis of the properties, they can get all the pictures, they can actually get the bed, bath, and then they can contact the agent directly who's hosting the open house.
Let me get this straight. So I'm putting myself in the home buyer's shoes right now, and it's a Sunday. I'm talking to my wife and kids, and we are ready to buy a house. We want to buy a house. I can go on Vivian Lehman's website, and I can probably see the house listings and things like that, but I've never thought of this. There's not really one place that conglomerates the open houses that I can go to.
Correct. Open houses are still active listings. So that's what we look at open houses. We actually see them as an availability to find a house that isn't in contingency. And normally when an open house listing is active, the agent who's hosting it is willing to take as many offers as possible. So if you're looking at a large website and you're finding all of these open houses, they could be weeks in advance and the properties could not exist any longer. But with our site, we actually take it every single morning. So every single morning we take the data and we actually give it to everybody so it's up to date and those houses are being hosted and they're available. Because Florida is an amazing market right now and a lot of houses aren't available any longer. So the ones on our site are available for that day. We purge at the end of the night and we do the same thing every day.
It's Saturday right now. I'm at home. I'm watching the You Have Real Estate show. But I want to buy a house, okay? I want to buy a house. But I want to go touch and feel this house. I don't need some MLS listing with some fake couches in it, some fake kitchen counters. I want to go see this house. I want to feel this house out. Where do I go? Is there a website I go to? How do I go visit your open house site?
So what you're going to do is you can either go to homeuplink.com or you can get the app. It's on Apple and
got an
Android.
app too?
Yeah. And so what you'll do is you'll go on the front page and it'll say today because we only service today. So search up Orlando, Tampa, anywhere in between. We have pretty much from Jacksonville on down south. So if you're looking for anything on the coast, you can find it. So on any given Saturday or Sunday, we normally have about 4,500 to 6,000 open houses.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So what is the difference? Because I've heard these stories now about people just making offers from Connecticut or whatever, sight unseen, and they just liked it on MLS. I mean, that can get you in trouble a little bit. I mean, it does seem to me like I would kind of like to see what I'm going to buy.
So we actually get a lot, that's a great question, Justin. We actually get a lot of people from different states calling our actual hotline or emailing the admin server to be able to understand because they're moving to Florida and they're seeing our open house site through the different means that we're promoting it, and they have no idea what they're looking for, but they search out, and then we actually send them to the real estate agent who's hosting the open house so they can answer the questions directly. We're the vessel. We like to facilitate. We like to get as many people as possible, many eyeballs, and then give them on to the next person.
Right. I mean, how does it feel when you see someone that's gone to your website and they found out about this open house, they went there, they talked to the listing agent, they ended up buying the house? That must make you feel pretty good.
That's exactly what we want.
Yeah.
I mean, when we started this when I was 19, I got my real estate license, and when we first started doing open houses ourselves, that's exactly what we wanted.
Right.
We sat there doing open houses and said to ourselves, man, there's
Gotta be
nobody
an easy
showing up. There's
Yeah.
got to be a better way.
We have a big realtor, real estate broker audience here. I mean, what do you tell them? Because what I found about, and we love our real estate agents, obviously, but sometimes they get a little creeped out by these new ideas and things. What do you tell a new agent or a broker out there about what you do to make sure they know you're here to help? You're not here to take money from them.
So we like to promote a digital footprint. So as of right now, they're doing the legwork. They're hosting their open houses. They're putting out their signs. They're going crazy on Saturdays and Sundays to make sure that they get they build their book of business. Why wouldn't you want to book it, on the internet as well? Sure. Why wouldn't those open houses catch as many eyeballs as possible instead of the 15 or 20 maybe looky-loos you're going to get? And I understand open houses are a little bit of archaic with how they've been being promoted, but it's a new age. Everybody, the weather out here can be unforgiving. You want to make sure that you're still having an open house on Saturday even though it's raining. It really just, we want to make it easier for them, and we understand that real estate agents definitely see that this could be a potential and also a problem. Sure. But we want to actually sit there and talk to every single person, tell them we only do it for the data. We want to make sure we facilitate. That's it.
Yeah. Here's what I see a lot, and I'm a lawyer. We deal with real estate stuff. So, dude in Connecticut calls the agent down here. He saw the couple pictures there with again the fake couches or whatever. That I don't know how they do that even. I'm sure it's not that hard. And then I'm going to put an offer on this house right now, thinking that they can get out of it. You know what? Let's just put a bunch of offers out there, knowing I can get out of this contract, and then they miss a deadline. They miss an inspection deadline, and then they get to the house and there's like holes and things, and it's not anything like they thought it was. But now they're locked in. Now they're locked into one of the biggest purchases of their life. That's why I think if I'm buying a place, I just want to see it. I understand that this market is competitive, but I want to see it. Do you have any horror stories about sight unseen purchases?
Well, yeah, we back in Vegas, which is where we initially started, there was this huge problem where people loved going to Vegas as it was kind of a more so of a vacation spot. So they'd get a second home. Yeah. Now, a lot of people would come to get a second home, and they wouldn't show up. They'd just put an offer in on a place. And I actually had one of our clients bought a property, and the leak, they'd never seen the property, gone in, it was a condo. The upstairs neighbor left their bathtub running. And when they purchased it, the photos before didn't show that there was a giant hole in mold. Right. But now that they owned this property, they had a giant hole filled with mold.
And these are difficult cases as well. Let me tell you, if you are going to sue a seller for misrepresentation or whatever, they're difficult to begin with. They're very hard to prove. But this seller is it's not like they have insurance for this. Like if you get hit by a car, they have automobile insurance. You're going to get paid by the insurance company. This case, you're going after someone's real money, someone's real pocketbook. They are very tough cases. Even if you can win, collectability is always an issue because there's no insurance company involved.
I mean, the SRPD can save you in some of those situations, but unfortunately, as is properties, or people tend to lie and make sure that we had a little bit of a leak last October. That little bit of a leak was a whole roof.
Exactly. Barrett, Zach, I'm sitting at home right now. Okay, it's 12:45ish or so. I'm ready to go buy a house.
Yep.
What should I do?
So, if you're really interested, what you do is you go to homeuplink.com or you download the app. You put in your zip or where you're at. If you want to look at, Apopka, you want to look at Longwood, you want to look at Orlando, Tampa, it's going to come up with every single one. You can then disseminate between prices and square footage, bed and bath, and you can go to it. It's going to show you the time it's there. You're going to see the agent who hosts the open house, their phone, their actual picture, and then actually who they work with, so which brokerage they're from, so you can contact them too.
Agents and brokers, by the way, love these guys. They're here for you, okay? I just want to be clear about that with all the agents and brokers out there. Awesome to meet you guys. Fantastic job. Hope to see you around soon,
Please.
Okay?
Thank you.
And welcome. And by the way, weather worse in the summer, Vegas or Orlando?
Vegas, 100%.
Oh my gosh. You're gonna get people who say here, but I mean, it's 125 in Vegas in July.
It doesn't matter if it's
No,
dry
you
or
can't
not.
go outside.
We're going to take a very quick time out. When we return, you're heading to the closing table. You put an offer in on a house. How long does it take you to get to closing? And what are some things you need to watch out for? You Have Real Estate continues. I'm here with Stephen Bader, the COO of IQ Power Solar. Steve, as you know, I went solar at my house with IQ Power Solar. Thank goodness that I did. There are a lot of door-knocking companies out there. There are a lot of these sales organizations that pretend to do solar. They are not IQ Power Solar. What separates you?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's an exciting industry and a lot of people are getting into it, and that's a good thing, right? For the most part. No one says, oh, I want to just put as many panels on the roof. That's not a good investment. We understand home energy, we understand how to get the best return on your investment, and we understand that at the end of the day, you're not buying a solar system. No one says, I can't wait to get up and look at my system. You're buying an outcome, so that's what we focus on. We focus on an outcome, a promise, someone hold accountable for that promise, and a 40-year commitment to it. So that's what we do.
Really what made us switch to solar was our electric bill was insane. It was $600-700 a month. What made me choose IQ Power was I had a bunch of people obviously come knock on my door, and I just went through and did some research on it. I liked that they were all under one contract. It wasn't multiple contractors. Everything was handled through the same individual, and they knocked everything out in a timely manner and really worked it out for us. They had the best warranties and guarantees in the business, and my wife really liked that. They were fantastic to work with.
Thank you for what you did for me and my family, Steve. IQ Power Solar. Do yourself a favor, give IQ Power Solar a call today. You will not regret that decision.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I'm here every week to answer your calls, questions, and provide your free pre-approval. Call me today and let's get you your best loan scenario. It only makes sense to get started now. Your Under One Roof team is always here to help you.
Welcome back to the show. So what happens? You put an offer in on a house, your dream home, you're desperate to have it. You know you got to go to a closing table at some point. How long does that take? And what are some of the slip-ups and pitfalls we should watch out for during that process? Who better to ask than the owner of Core Title, Hemant Panchal is here. Hemant, how are you, buddy? It's been a while. You said you haven't been with us since we were filming the show upstairs here.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We can't let it go that far again. So what is a typical time frame? I'm buying residential real estate. I want the house. How long does it normally take before I can get to closing?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. If you're buying, you're paying cash, you're not financing, usually we can get that done in 2-3 weeks.
Really?
If you're financing, typically looking at 30 to 45 days.
30 to 45 days is average with financing.
Yeah.
I keep hearing all these stories that so many more people are paying with cash now for residential real estate. Are you seeing a lot more of that or no?
We are, yeah.
Yeah.
We're also seeing a lot of big money coming in, a lot of hedge funds.
Is that right?
Wall Street coming in and paying cash, and they're beating out the average buyers.
Really? So we're getting a lot of institutional money coming in here to buy up these houses. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right, so let's say I pay cash. A couple weeks I could close.
Yeah, as long as everything comes in clean, title's clean, there aren't any code enforcement issues and stuff.
So, I mean, you really handle the purchase of this house from the day you get the contract, so the day that you sign your contract saying, I want to buy this house and for how much, until literally you sign all the paperwork, you'll close and you get the keys. What are some of the things that you see as a title company, as the owner of a title company, that get in the way of this transaction actually closing?
A lot of the things that come up would be title related. If there's any sort of liens or judgments that maybe they forgot to pay a credit card and eventually they got sued and eventually they'll record it on title, or maybe it was something from the HOA where they forgot to maintain their lawn and the HOA recorded a lien or something. So all sorts of little things that could come up, and if they get ignored, they'll eventually get recorded on title, which when they sell, that's where we'll have to clear that up.
And it's kind of a shock for a seller because, once they get the contract in hand, they're already taking out the real estate commission and how much they owe the mortgage, and they're already figuring out their net the day they get before they get the contract. And look, sellers, don't argue with me on this. It's true. You get a contract and you say you owe $100,000 to the mortgage company and it's a $200,000 contract. You already have $100,000 in your head minus some closing costs or whatever. All sellers feel the same way. Don't act like you don't think that way, because I know you do. What are some? And then all of a sudden a judgment pops up for $30,000. You had in your head 70. Now it's 40. You don't want that. What can I do as a seller to prevent that from happening? Is there something I can do prior to listing my house to make sure I don't have judgments?
Absolutely. That's where it's important to contact us beforehand. We'll do a title search before you even get an offer, so we could start working on those things so it's not like a last-minute rush.
I'm so glad you brought this up, because I see it all of the time, and here's what happens. So, and it happens almost every time. you sell your house, or you are under contract to sell your house, 3 days or 10 days before closing, this lien pops up, and then we have this big decision to make. Do I go forward with the transaction, which you might be contractually obligated to? Well, no, I'll just try to settle that debt. At that point, the person you owe money to knows you're under contract. This is the best time that they're going to get paid. They're not as willing to negotiate at that point, Hemant.
No, not at all.
Do you ever really see them negotiate at that point? Hardly at all?
Very rarely.
Yeah.
That's usually where I refer them to my favorite attorney.
Hey,
and
thank
get
you.
it resolved.
But if you get out ahead of it, you do it before you list your house. A lot of times you can settle not all the time, but a lot of times you can settle them for less than they're saying that you owe. And let's be honest here, if you got a judgment for $8,000 to Capital One 10 years ago, I assure you that $8,000's not $8,000 anymore. I mean, we're talking about, with interest and everything, $15,000, $20,000 that you did not know you're going to have to take off the bottom line of this house. I would call this guy 407-205-0400, even if you're thinking about listing your house, even before you list it, and he'll be happy to do a title search for you, make sure you don't have any of those liens out there against you, because they can really come back to haunt you down the road.
Absolutely.
Any other pitfalls that you see? What are some other mistakes that you see by buyers or sellers during this process?
One of the things is just wire fraud.
Really?
People hijacking emails, so it's just becoming more and more common. So, if you're involved in a real estate transaction, you're supposed to wire money, just make sure you actually get a live human being on the phone that you verify wire instructions. That's becoming more and more common every day.
Dang. So this is more, I guess, for the buyer side. They're the ones wiring the money generally, right?
Right.
And so tell, specifically, what have you seen when you say email fraud or whatever? What happens? Because if I'm wiring money, I want to make sure I have this cleared up too. What have you seen?
Yeah, a lot of times we'll see fake email accounts set up that are mimicking maybe the real estate company or even the title company, where the logos, the names, everything look the same, but if you look closely at the email address, it's maybe from Hong Kong or something. So
Core Title One.
Something, maybe one letter is off in there.
Dang, that's scary. I didn't really know that was going on out there. I mean, we had all the wire or the check fraud before, which is, I think, don't we have to almost always do wires now?
Yeah.
But now we have fraud with the email addresses. Unbelievable. So let's say I'm a buyer working with a mortgage company throughout the process, because I'm getting a mortgage. Obviously, I have to work with the mortgage company. We love Dallas Lehman, of course. What are some of the mistakes that you see maybe with other mortgage companies out there? Is it a delay in getting documents? What's the kind of mortgage thing that we can see holding this process up?
Some of the things that we're seeing is a lot of the lenders aren't getting a lot of the financials up front, and by the time we get an offer, we're ready to go. But I would like to see a lot of the lenders maybe having a buyer's already prepared, already having their income, tax returns, all that stuff already reviewed, so that by the time an offer comes in, it's already in underwriting and approved. We're just seeing delays because of that, and I think that could probably get handled up front, which Dallas and his team are great at, knocking out early.
Yeah, we went through a phase where a lot of people are doing these drive-through closings, like it's Crystal Burgers or whatever. Are we still doing those, or what's going on with the drive-through closing?
Yeah, I think COVID kind of forced us to get creative with that, but if people are still a little skeptical about that, we'll certainly help them out with that. But we're back to normal in that regards.
How do you see the market in general now? At the beginning, I was saying that I haven't really seen it slow down much. I mean, you're kind of right there in the trenches as well. What have you seen?
Yeah, I haven't seen it slow down at all. And with summer and school coming out soon, I think it's going to pick back up.
What are we, April? Yeah, we're in April now. This gets hot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
This is the time of year it gets kind of hot.
Yeah.
My goodness. An already hot real estate market ready to get hotter. Hemant, great to see you. Core Title. I'm recommending right now, if you're thinking about selling your house, have them do a title search. It only makes sense because I see this pop up all the time at the end, and you're going to be very frustrated, and you're going to think, I wish I would have listened to that guy on TV, right?
Absolutely.
Can you stick around for a minute?
Sure.
All right, and now it's time for your portion of the program. It's time for the Real Estate Roundtable during the week. If you have questions that you would like to ask, we might just answer them next week on the TV show. Go to our Facebook page, You Have Real Estate TV Show, and put the question right there. All right, first victim for season 3. Who is it? John in Eustis. Hey, John, how are you? And we kind of already addressed this. How long does a closing normally take? But let's address it again just so John knows.
Yeah, if the transaction is all cash, usually a couple weeks, maybe 3. If it's financing, I would say, 30 to 45 days is the norm. Sometimes we could close a cash deal even quicker if we've already pulled title and we've already cleared everything and have all of our searches in.
Got it. What about a commercial deal, like not a house but a office building or something? Are those longer?
Yeah, those definitely are longer.
Okay.
Yeah, and it just really depends on how the contract's drawn up. If they have a longer inspection period or due diligence period, and especially if they're financing, they definitely take longer. Sometimes, more than 60 days. So it just really depends on the property too.
Susan in Lake Mary, that's where you live. What is an open house exactly, and how is it different than just looking at the pictures online?
Basically, an open house is feeling it. You actually get to see the property yourself. You get to walk it. You get to actually see if the kitchen works for you, the bedrooms work for you, the dining room. It's the first step in actually purchasing a house, because what we were talking about earlier is everybody likes to look at all the beautiful pictures, but until you actually see it firsthand, you really don't know if you're going to be in love with it or not.
Yeah. And the donuts.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cookies.
The cookies and the donuts. What is the biggest spread you've ever seen at an open house? The best spread?
Crab claws.
What?
Yeah, we went to a broker's open, and it was champagne and crab claws. And it was pretty impressive.
Now, can you conglomerate information on open houses with crab claws?
Mm-hmm.
You can do that?
Of course.
I like that very much. All right, John and Eustis. Justin, how do you see the real estate market for the rest of this year? I mean, John, I kind of address it. Hemant, why don't you give me your thoughts on the rest of the year? What do you think?
I think it's only going to get hotter during the summer, just with everybody being out of school. Everybody's going to look to relocate then. It might maybe cool down a little bit, but I see the market just continuing along as it has been, just still hot in Florida.
Yeah. Barrett, what do you think, buddy?
There's still plenty of people moving here, and that's what's driving it. I mean, there's a lot of, people deciding that Florida is their next home, and it's going to keep driving, and it's great for us.
Let me tell you, if you've been holding out on buying a house, do not do so. I do not see the rates going down. Look at history. The rates are still very low. Are you going to get a 2% rate? No, you're not. It's not going to go back down to that point either, I don't believe. I believe that they will continue to go up with inflation. This real estate market is hot. Florida real estate is hot.
I would agree.
And I think more people are moving here now than they ever have because of what has been going on the last 2 years. You will not regret buying right now. That's my opinion, of course, but I would not hesitate to buy now at all. Hemant Panchal, excellent job as always. Core title, Barrett Munson, homeuplink.com, or download the app. Where do I get the app?
Apple, Android, everywhere.
Did you build the app yourself? I want to learn how to build an app. But
I did not. My partner built the app.
I guess.
So,
I see. Whatever. I don't know how to even. I can hardly download an app, let alone build one. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Thank you guys so much. Most importantly, thank you for joining me today. It's great to be back here with you. If you're looking to sell your house, you know what I'll do? I'll put it right here on the show if you want. Just call the number 407-205-0400. I don't care. I'll put it here. We'll try to sell the house for you. No big deal. If you want to get pre-approved, Dallas Lehman is standing by literally right now at that very same phone number. Special thanks as always to our amazing WKMG crew. I'm attorney Justin Clark, and we'll see you again next week, same time, for more You Have Real Estate.
Do you want to feature your home for free on our show? My name is Vivian Lehman with You Have Realty, and we've come up with a comprehensive marketing strategy to get your home sold quickly. Whether buying or selling, we have all the resources for your real estate transaction: builder, insurance, title, mortgage, and we might even know Justin Clark. All under one roof. Call us at 407-205-0400.